Everyone. So, welcome to my channel. And today I want to talk about my story on how I've come to these messages of the new way, particularly around the importance of us feeling our emotions. So, when I had my Hayden, he has been my little prodding, triggering child. Um, it got to him being 3 years of age, and then I had my second son, Decky. So I had a newborn, and that's where stuff really started to come up within me and, of course, in my external. And that was Hayden as soon as I was breastfeeding, ripping clothes off the washing line, ripping up books, just causing chaos. We would go out and he would do runners. We would go to the park and he would, go and clock a kid. And I could not help it. The emotions were coming up in me. And that's 11 years ago now. Before I was really awakened, certainly before I was feeling any of my emotions, I can humbly say that I even smacked him. I, was seeing him as the devil child. Essentially, I dreaded him. I worried sick about waking up every day and what stuff I was going to have to face. He also was having big mega meltdowns as well if I snapped the banana in half accidentally or cut the sandwiches the wrong way. So there was so much fire coming up between us. And it got to the point where even me, as a pediatric speech pathologist, started to see him as, wow, he's looking ADHD, he's looking ASD. I knew in my heart I could take him to any of our local pediatricians because I knew them, and I knew that they would diagnose him if I did. My husband even got to the point where, our marriage was certainly struggling, and he was even saying to me, you might have to come to terms with us putting on medication. And it wasn't to be on my path. And I was, passionate about that. No, we're not doing that. We're not diagnosing, we're not putting medication onto him because I can also see his very big light. And that was a standout for me as far as his intellect at that point. And, we ended up getting him assessed and he's gifted, etc. So that held me back from focusing it all on him, but it took many different people to start to point out the mother-child connection. One man really showed me. He said, "You're wound up like a tight spring." A kinesiologist pointed out Hayden's holding on to all the stress from his preemie birth that you haven't, worked through yet. And so there was just a point, going through all of these other people, trying to look at myself, not really knowing where to start, that I then started to allow myself to feel emotions that were coming up. And, long story short, I really did. I went for it. And lo and behold, what happened was my son exponentially started to unravel from all the behaviors and all of the shadows that he was presenting with, including things like eczema, even food sensitivities, let alone the behavioral stuff. And he started to land in himself. You could see him talk from his eyes, where I'm like, oh, now I'm talking to my child's soul. I'm not talking to this child that's like this, that has no connection to me, because I had done that for myself. I was able to look myself in the mirror. I was able to say, this is what I stand for. I then started to get on my son's page. And when I was feeling bad for myself, in any certain challenge in my day, I also then started to see it from his side too and go, he's actually struggling as well. And when I would see it for my child, to go, gosh, he's having such a hard time, I then started to remember I'm having a hard time too, for example, at school issues, bullying and whatnot. And so having heart for mother and child going back and forth, it's like we've been a team. We've brushed each other up the wrong way. The emotions have come up. But on the other side, as we feel our emotions out, we literally let go of the energy that is there within our physical muscles and tendons and fascia. And I can't say this enough. Your emotions are in you. It's not something you can think away, sigh away, tuck away. Your physical body is the point of truth. Also, what's another point of truth is your children's behaviors. If you've got chaos in your family like I did, they were the point of truth to go. It didn't matter how much I said, I'm fine, I'm okay. They were reflecting that stuff within me. And the last point of truth is my behaviors. Every time I raise my voice, I'm okay. That's not okay, Hayden. You need time out, and put down what I call my cold mother shield. I was distancing myself from feeling my own heart, and I was then therefore distancing myself from feeling my son's heart. And really seeing that, especially these children that are emoting big, lots of emotion in the house, or prodding us so much, they are so important and they are to be revered, because they're helping us to literally get rid of this old stuff and to see the old conditioning, if we are brave enough to. And I understand that it's not easy to feel. It at first was it felt dark and scary, like what skeletons are in my closet. Whereas now I see it as normal as going to the toilet, blowing my snot out. Of course, I'd let my vomit out if it was coming up. Of course, I'm going to pay attention to my emotions that are constantly rising within me. Now, I go on in a lot of detail in my book, The Game of Life, How to Play the New Way, all of what's going on within us and how that's, replaying in our external and what to do. So you can buy that book. I've got the link in my comments. I'm also here talking about the New Way course. I've gone through all of this downloading. I've put out a lot of courses. I've downloaded everything down to the crystals. I've written a book, first of many, and there's book 2 and 3 waiting to go. But what I'm finding now is I need to get it down to beginner course, so you can step in and you can start to learn to tune inwards to yourself and to see the divine process and order. And the beauty that it is that everything in our external is reflecting our inner state. So when you become a master of your inner state, or the process of mastering it, you start to process and master what's going on in the outside world. You don't have to rush and diagnose, fix, spend oodles and excess time, energy, money trying to solve anything for your child, whether it's bullying, whether it's homeschooling, friend issues, whether it's a health issue, every last thing, and this is including for your partner or ex-partner, and every other life challenge comes back to starting within. And that's what my book, The Game of Life, the whole premise of this book is to understand you are it. Many women and some men, some dads are starting to remember this and to know the truth in this. It's not something we necessarily like to hear, but honestly, we're all bathing in our stuff and we're spending so much energy anyway trying to hold it all in and hold it together. The minute we start to get honest, our children and our partners start to change as well, and we realize, oh wow, I'm putting my energy externally when actually it should be internally, and I will get exponential, miraculous results that are on my way to coming back to my true essence and my soul path and finding myself. And that's how I've come to doing this work, is literally by doing this and embodying this myself. So I want you to know you are not alone. I've already gathered up quite a lot of women and some dads who are saying yes to this new way. And no, it's not easy, but yes, there's such amazing results on the other side. So please click down below and look at the New Way course. If it sounds interesting to you, it's designed to be 10 weeks. At this point, it's $150, which includes a copy of this book, so it's super affordable. And we meet weekly on Zoom, so it's something that you can keep on, just practicing the basics of this, because there's so much conditioning and worldliness that's been put on us that we see life in a way that's, to me, upside down and back to front. And our children will thank us exponentially. If this video connects with you, please do share this to anyone else that you know. Share it in Facebook groups, wherever you can, please. I'm relying on word of mouth. This message wants to get spread by word of mouth than me going and spending lots of energy on marketing, because I have a lot of energy to put to, all the other important things that, this message needs to be spread with. So if you can, pass it on to anyone that you know, especially if anyone is, an emotional mom, or constantly like, oh gosh, I'm taking my stuff out on my children. Many mums are not getting honest to their friends to go, oh, I just hate the way I respond to my children, especially at home, how my stuff comes up, or I yearn to feel and connect back in and I'm just so numb to it all. Then please let them know. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye.